What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the second album by American rapper Bone Crusher. Basically, this product is called Release the Beast, and it came out in the summer of 2006. So the fair about this product here is just the factoid. This is the factoid of the follow-up to Bone Crusher's hit album from 2003, Attention, as far as those pitch can happen now. Particularly, that album was a pretty hit album within the pitch behind it, but it was kind of a short-lived kind of big deal within those pitches just because, within the particular fair, I have reviewed some recent Bone Crusher pitches like that, but it's probably not going to surface for a good while as far as those pitch can happen, but I did review it. But it's within the pitch as far as saying Bone Crusher's 2003 album, Attention, within those pitches was a hit album, definitely classic within those ordeals, pitches like that. Pals of mine like Jackal Goldkick definitely appreciate that album, pitches like that, and it is definitely a banger. But the pitch behind that album is just the fact that Bone Crusher never followed up that particular hit single off that album, Never Scared, with anything else. And it's kind of the pitch that was kind of, it was vastly unfortunate because he could have capitalized a lot further, had a few more crunk junts on there. I've said in the past that I do feel like Gripping the Grain would have been an excellent second single, pitch like that, but he never did. It was just a one single to that particular album, and it just kind of kept him locked in 2003. It's not like he's a one-hit wonder, but he's kind of more or less seen like that just within the pitch as far as saying just because he doesn't really have that many collective hits to his name in terms of like mainstream kind of radio songs. I mean, I would definitely say Never Scared was a big deal in 2003, but it's kind of this more or less like his signature song because he doesn't really have any other palpable type hits within the aspect as far as something to kind of have within a makeshift kind of commerce, within like a makeshift kind of forum and gossip as far as those fairs go. But it's just within the pitch as far as saying, now he was at least, I think he did like a song for like the Triple X, like those Vin Diesel movies, Triple X, some of those type ones. I think Ice Cube did one of those as well, but within the pitch he was on like the soundtrack to some of that type fair. But other than that, he didn't really have that many singles. He was light on particular hits to his name, but this album still came out within these pitches, excellent type ordeals, just the factoid of getting it. But the worst thing about this product, now this album is going to get a classic score, simple enough. This particular album is a clean sweep kind of classic as far as these pitches can happen within these ordeals, as far as like the just blistering typeness of it, is classic southern hip hop pitches like that, just like Attention, some of those type ones, was just the pitch. From what I gathered about this album, it doesn't have a single, so it's kind of the pitch. This is worse yet misnomer within the product, within the fair, just saying like when I talked about how Attention didn't have any real good promotion about it apart from Never Scared pitches like that. This particular album supposedly came out, at least from what Wikipedia says, between Bone Crusher's discography and then the article about this particular album, Release the Beast. It doesn't appear. I could look real quick on like Rate Your Music to see if it had a single, but for the most part it doesn't appear to. So I'd probably more or less just have to say, well, here's something to know. I guess apparently Gripping the Grain was kind of released as a single, so that's interesting within those pitches. Apparently, according to Rate Your Music, Gripping the Grain kind of was a single. So I don't know. It's within those pitches. Maybe it was just paying attention within those fairs. It also says that Take Your Clothes Off was another one, so I'm going to see if that was actually... It apparently says that there's a song called Take Your Clothes Off. I think that was actually a Yin Yang Twins song, the more I think about it. I think there was something about that particular fair, more or less, to kind of... I'm going to look that up now to be able to say. I know this review is kind of getting distracted, but I'm kind of interested in that particular pitch about it. I just would, yeah, it is. So that's kind of the concept. That was a single back in 2004, so that was something that kind of happened. That was kind of a good type song, but within the pitch, yeah, Bone Crusher didn't drop any singles to Release the Beast, but the most popular song according to like YouTube type fair when I found this album within these pitches. Another thing about this album, it's very low key within these pitches, just to definitely be able to say, I think most folks for the most part probably when they think of Bone Crusher probably remember Never Scared pitches like that, but probably for the fact I just realized because he didn't have that many hits to his name, it kind of becomes a question mark, the later stuff that he did. But I've reviewed some of it. It's like the third, it's going to be the fourth soon enough within these pitches of type Bone Crusher products I reviewed, but it's just kind of the pitch that particularly this album did come out, and this was an album in stores back in those days, just very underneath the radar as far as those pitches can happen. But yeah, it didn't have a single. It's not on Spotify within those pitches, so a little bit trickier to kind of pick up within those fashions. Kind of curious as to why it wasn't on Spotify, so as that fares. But the most popular song according to YouTube within these products, which really doesn't have that much attention about it, is Southern Gorillas. So but just simple enough to say all 12 of these songs I recommend, so 10 out of 10 score. So I'm just going to get to some of these. Southern Gorillas, there is some vintage crunk on here. Now the thing about this album, it's kind of a gas within these formats, has some real haunting kind of aspects about it. I do like the tone as far as just a little bit more scarce a little bit more gassed in within the shrill type factor, which is some excellent type ordeals. But the crunk on here, if you are looking for like a song that has like the full bound kind of fury, there's not really any Lil Jon centric full bound type stuff. There are some ones like Mug On, Stomp by the A-Town, I Do It, Southern Gorilla, some of these type ones. There is crunk on here, but it's just kind of fashion, just a lot more melded, considering that crunk was starting to wear down quite a bit by the time you got to like the summer of 2006. So that's the thing. This album, it feels like it probably should have came out in 2004 or something like that, just right rapidly after like a 10 chun, some of those type pitches, but this actually was several years later within these pitches. It was actually summer 2006 when even Lil Jon was starting to wear off within those pitches, so it's just kind of fair apart from Snap Your Fingers. But yeah, Southern Gorillas is a nice one. It's like a basic, super sludgy and low-key kind of crunk leftover to kind of get this routine kind of setup shop, I'd say, here within these pitches is kind of a banger. Good type fare with some of these type ones. It's excellent type product as far as these pitches kind of happen. Gotta get that money is a quality one within these aspects as well. Some of these do have like some hook type appeal. This is a real chummy type one within these pitches. Definitely reminds like Tech 9 off of albums like Absolute Power. Some of those just kind of gusty type ones within pitches, just like some makeshift drear, but gotta get that money. It's like a nice crunk makeshift sludge kind of get within the products over here. Just some traffic slums, I would definitely say. Low-key kind of Arby's runs pitches like that. Some of those type fares and just Bills pay pitches like that. Just kind of miss the ordeal, just getting along. Some of those type products. Not so much full-bound hustle within the pitch, but just kind of within the aspect of just kind of the fare, just getting towards the product of it, stacking up, not getting behind as far as those pitches kind of happen. There are some other type ones, like this one is pretty good within those qualities, as well as another kind of more makeshift slime as far as this pitch can happen. This one's like a nice Tupac and Tech 9 kind of makeshift sludge kind of get here. Extra thought type song pitch like that, just good for some outing kind of rumination pitches like that. It's kind of a day drift and get some errands done as far as this pitch can happen. So another hooky type one is kind of it's more melded within the format. The unfortunate thing about Bone Crusher with this particular album is he's not quite as powder keg type crazy. It's not like he isn't. He does have these moments on here, but it's just the fury in terms of something. It just feels like for some reason his career just got really short-lived a lot quicker within the fairy. Now he's had the hits. He does have these bangers on here. This is not like a quiet type album, but it's just kind of the pitch. This kind of feels like an odd spell considering the fact that it would have felt like a song like Southern Gorillas and Mug On, some of those type pitches would have had like that Capital type appeal that Bone Crusher would have easily had a song. Bone Crusher would have easily had a song with that sort of fury, just with the bite, considering that this is second album up, pitches like that as far as what's going to happen, just with the ravenous typeness, but it's kind of the fair. There are some good ones type on here. So I Do It as a quality one. It's like an excellent buzz single and bounce to kind of get within the products of it. Good type product. It's like a dope routine kind of Bone Crusher slap, I'd say, within these aspects. Just good song to stand on couches. So yeah, I Do It's just a good thumping type one. Just typical Bone Crusher within some type aspects. Just excellent type appeal. Just a good banger. Easily get some drink and some crunk in your system as far as what's going to happen. Mug On's another nice one within these appeals. It's like a sparkly Get Loud and just vintage Bone Crusher. I would definitely say vintage Bone Crusher and Lil Jon type style pitch like that. Just more melded though within the aspect like I was saying a little bit. It's kind of more softer crunk, but still some good tear ups as far as this pitch can have. So just the aspect. It's kind of within the tone as far as saying that crunk is kind of not so much full bound phasing out by that particular point in 2006, but just kind of aspect of this. Doesn't full bound kind of get to the territory of like nostalgic within pitches like that, but it's kind of a reflect. But the energy is probably more, I wouldn't say it's like a 6 out of 10 in terms of, like the quality of the song is definitely a 10, but it's just the pitch, maybe the energy of like the ferociousness is more like a 7.5 or 8 within the pitch, just toned down within the pitch compared to like the powder keg kind of heat of like Never Scared and Gripping the Grain zones type ones and pitches like that. But I look after it, good type ordeals. The song I'm a Hustler is a nice one. It's like a tittering and collected kind of push along to kind of get within the products of it. Just steady kind of hop to it, sip a cold one along the way as far as these pitch can happen. Just good to make some moves as far as those pairs going to happen. Yeah, but I'm a Hustler is definitely a nice one to sip like a cold beer or something like that. Just kind of miss the products. So definitely one to kind of get some things done within those pitches, but not quite as steadfast and stone-faced to the point of not doing anything within the fair, just having to have it be superbly having to have it be completely ironclad as far as those pitch games. So it's just within the ordeal as far as just having those moves along the way, but just having some, throwing in some good content to have the enjoyment factor of having the cold hustle type mentality pitches like that. Lights, camera, action is a quality one within these aspects as well. It's like a freakish and dreary kind of outing fog kind of get within the products over here. Just good, grim kind of traffic and arounds, I'd say, within pitches like that. It's kind of a good song to dine to. Just kind of within the products as far as some of those type fares, whether it is whip-centric or just pitch like that, just having some Doritos outside some of these type pitches within these fares, Fritos, things like that. Combos, checks, mixed Gardettos, some of these type pitches. It's kind of the product of just like outing type fare within the pitch of It's a little bit within the terror-centric typeness within the tone. These are some of these type ones. Some of these ones I'm going to get to, like Feel It, Lights, Camera, Action, Danger. Some of these type ones on here, Stomped by the A-Town. There's just pitches like that do have like some gas crunk. Some of these type songs do have some gas crunk, which is some excellent type aspects considering Lil Jon didn't always commonplace kind of do these. So it's just kind of a good expansion like that particular style. So it does, despite the fact that this is not quite as ferocious in terms of like the casual type appeal, it does expand upon like crunk and things like that and kind of give it like some new life as far as these pitches can have. So this has some extra flavors, has some new tricks on here, so it's good type products. Yeah, definitely a good song to dine to just within the out and around as far as this pitch can happen. Stomped by the A-Town is nice on here as well. It's like a woozy and spectral kind of crunk rumbler to kind of get just a haunted highlight, I would definitely say, within the products of it. Just kind of a factory kind of loud up as far as these pitches kind of go. Stomped by the A-Town is actually one of the most vicious songs off this album as far as these pitches go. So this is more vintage Bone Crusher within the aspects like that fury and those particular aspects. So definitely a good powder cake type one, good excellent type fare, real spectral pitches like that. Just appreciate the ghastliness, definitely some good tones. Feel It's a pretty hot one as well. Definitely pretty. This is a real strange type one with the aspect. Do like the sluggishness and just the overall kind of slimy kind of just the slimy kind of creeping type factor about this particular song. This has some real kind of compost-like kind of aspects about it within these pitches. Feel It's like a foreboding and a gas terror to kind of get within the products of it here. Just a nice neighborhood kind of Taco Bell run pitches like that and some makeshift slime. I would definitely say just an overall lit type one. So it's just kind of missed the pitch as far as saying some crisp kind of haunting type flavor within the pitch as far as those pairs. This really feels like a slog kind of head trip as far as these pairs going to happen. Just very different from Bone Crusher as far as those styles going to happen. It's a differential. This feels like more something that like probably Tech 9 would kind of do and folks like, you know, Brother Lynch Hung and this folks, especially around 2006. It's kind of out of the ordinary for 2006 as far as these pairs can happen. This doesn't feel like typical kind of Crunk and Bone Crusher type fare within these pitches. Barely. Like this would have been something that would have been a real kind of like demented type one for someone like Eminem and folks like that as far as those pitches kind of happen. So this is a real slog and head trip kind of a song. Definitely has some smoke type fashion in your system. Feel It's a real good standout on here. Danger is a nice one as well. It's like a dope haunted kind of hop and bop and just great autumn strut type music pitches like that. Just good for like typical day. Good for like autumn struts and typical day as far as those formats kind of happen. It's kind of good type dredge about it within those aspects. Just another good nice one for like Doritos backwoods kind of fun as far as those pitches kind of go. Danger is definitely pretty crisp and relatively kind of haunting, but it's just kind of a more commercial type one within those aspects. Just the closest thing, probably more, it's kind of more September kind of autumn, more so than the full bound kind of a gas October pitches like that, but probably just more in like a vanilla kind of autumn sense, just to say it more in that aspect about it. It's kind of more just a kind of plainer type one within those aspects. Not plain in terms of quality, but just the aspect not quite as ferocious within the bite behind a good pitch like that. But I look after, I don't think I've talked about Pistol Foe. It's a nice one as well. It's like a slinky kind of neighborhood trudge kind of get here, just pick up Doritos and goods pitches like that. It's kind of some brushy, dreary, and calming as far as those pitches kind of happen. Songs like Pistol Foe or just some good struts pitches like that. Just kind of miss the ordeal. Just kind of like socialize with homies pitches like that. And a lot of these do have like some good homies type fashions just with an aspect of like the good collective, just having some things within standard commonplace, getting the backwoods kind of lit pitches like that. Some of those type fares just within the product, like the neighborhood spill and pitches. Some of those type fares within the product, just like good gathering type motions pitches like that. The standard fare. I think one of the last ones I haven't talked about on here within the fashion behind the rest of this album would be the song We Are. This like the song We Are is like a leery and jittered kind of two-step bounce to kind of get here within the hit song We Are is like a leery and jittered kind of two-step bounce to kind of get within the products of it here. Just neighborhood kind of streetlight buzz pitches like that. Just kind of it's definitely some good dap and spark up as far as those pitch kind of goes. So within the product, so this is a good gothic type one within those pitches. Less crunk, but kind of within the aspect of just like a neighborhood kind of just a gas type one within pitches like that. Just like the terrify about it as far as these pitches kind of go. Just like some good street lights buzzing pitches like that. Just standard September, October type product within just like kind of around the neighborhood trudge pitches like that as far as those sort of deals kind of have. So definitely a good dap type fair pitches like that. Just standard commotion. It does have like some nice two-step type territory pitches like that. So I think that about takes care of the product of this album as far as these pairs going to go. I want to say I talked about I Do It, but I'll talk about this one as well, just within these pitches. If I do, I'll just excise this. But yeah, I'd say I Do It's like an excellent kind of buzz single and bounce kind of get here. Just dope routine kind of bone crusher slap, I'd say, within these products. Just good song to stand on couches, pitches like that. So just further type bangers. Some of those type aspects, like some of these highlights on here. Stomped by the A-Town, We Are, Mug On, Southern Gorilla. Some of these type ones within these pitches. Definitely excellent within the fair. It's an excellent type fair. So I look after it's a 10 album. Social score I'm probably going to give like a 9.75. Now I realize within fashion the quality is definitely on here. This is a very clever and just original type format of an album. Definitely has some aspects within this product that this is very Has a lot more demented typeness and severe type quality with the aspect that this is very appreciable, definitely a head trip type product, and this is like a real swirling type one that hits pretty dynamically. This is the main product as far as saying that's just not that casual within these pitches. Now it's not to say I think Bone Crusher has the relative type popularity where he's pretty attention grabbing with just his appeal and personality, but this kind of pitch that you would have thought that there would have been some sort of buzz song within these pitches is like a starting off type one. I think it's just pretty much the aim that you would probably say the ones to go for immediately would be the ones that are kind of like Never Scared, and the ones that are like Never Scared and Gripping the Grain, some of those type ones. It's kind of the pitch that you do get those moments. Mug On, I Do It, Southern Gorilla, some of these type ones, but it's this kind of pitch I still think there probably should have been a single in some varieties. That's the main product, but yeah, these neighborhood type ones, the Taco Bell runs, picking up Doritos, getting like some good like things like that, getting like some Gardettos, some of those type products is definitely within the appeal. It's a pretty social type product as well, having some homies nearby, just the standard product, just to connect, and the standard fare, just like the spill and like the neighborhood as far as those pitch can happen. Nails the appeal, so excellent type product. Has these fares, has some commerce kind of ones within the product, like some hustle round pitches like that, get those bills paid. Some of those type fares, just a couple cold hustle type songs, have like a cold beer along with, not within the form of driving, but just the pitch, just like the standard product, just some bills paid within like the reward of having like kind of mixing in business and pleasure, but just being productive within the same sense as far as not slacking. So it's a good type product to get towards some of those. So in terms of the future, like Bone Crusher has supposedly not dropped an album since 2007. That's the last one seemingly to kind of get to his album Free from 2007, but it's kind of the pitch. He did at least drop some mixtapes, at least up to 2009 or pitches like that, but there's a few more Bone Crusher type products I'm going to get to. It's definitely Blistering type 1, this real bona fide type hit. Definitely follows up. This is not the sophomore slump pitch like that. This is his capital album as a 10 chun, just minus like the casual type of feel, but it's definitely a banger, definitely some heat, easy enough.